Today I was scrolling through my channel and I had realized I had never looked at the original Siege Seeker mold, which is probably one of the most popular figures in the past few years. But I didn't want to look at some of the other figures like Thundercracker or Starscream, which everyone kind of already had in their collections. So I thought I'd take a look at the Target exclusive Siege Rainmaker Seeker set, which includes Nova Storm, Ion Storm, and Acid Storm. These guys were sold as a Target exclusive in late 2019 and are all, of course, repaints of the Siege Starscream mold. But it's pretty cool, I have to admit. Did I also mention it comes in this gigantic box? Anyways, let's get into the review. These figures feature very boring and standard, probably less than standard paint apps. They have some battle damage, of course, some gray highlights in the front chest piece, I guess, and they've also got some gray details on the wings. So that's very standard. Just showing you here in a comparison, I'm not going to bother showing you the other guys since they all have the same paint apps, but here he is with Starscream. And you can see that Starscream has some little blue highlights on his shins, whereas these guys do not have that. They pretty much only have the battle damage and a couple little stripes. For the articulation on these figures, it's pretty great. They've got a hip swivel thing, I guess. They've got a thigh swivel, a bend at the knee, some toe articulation, or feet articulation. He's got an ankle rocker, of course, which is nice. You can see from me moving the figure that he's got a hip swivel, but he's also got this pose to do, which we'll get into in a little bit. So yeah. These figures also have some pretty interesting arm articulation. They've got, you can move the shoulders in any way you want. They've got a butterfly joint, which you rarely see on figures, and you can use that for gun pointing poses. They've got a double jointed bend at the arm, and they've got also have these little hand swivels, which is nice. They've also got ball jointed heads and some pretty nice wing articulation. It could also be said that these guys have just the right amount of articulation to do any of your favorite dance moves. Anyways, let's look at some size comparisons with Ion Storm here as the example. Here he is with Siege Sideswipe. And here he is with Earthrise Optimus Prime. Here he is with Kingdom Rat Trap. And here he is with Earthrise Starscream, his successor, if you will. Now, I wanted to take this time real quick to just show you the differences between Ion Storm and Thundercracker. Some people are like, oh, it's pretty much the same color, but as you can see, Thundercracker is just ever so slightly greener than him, and also has a ton more paint apps, in the chest and the codpiece area. So they're not the same. Without further ado, let's get into the transformation using Acid Storm. So, just putting on the finishing touches, and there you have Acid Storm in his really kind of cool Tetrajet mode. It's kind of lumpy, I don't know. Here he is with the other guys, and they look very nice together. They make a great display piece to all of each other. So here's Acid Storm, and as the same, you know, they're all the same mold. So they've kind of got this cool transformation, I think, and some people would call it a shell former, but, you know, besides the knees, I think it hides pretty well. The back section has some kibble, but you could pretend that the thrusters are, or maybe the front details are like thrusters for the back, which I think is kind of a neat idea. So there's also a stand hole if you would like to use that, so something you could do. But otherwise, that's them in their Tetrajet mode. I don't really have any more to say. So that was my review of the Siege Rainmaker set from Target from 2019. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to like it if you haven't already, and please subscribe because my channel is only dwindling in numbers. All right, thank you. Goodbye.